Great. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this media conference. My name is Maurice Mo Green, and I'm honored to serve as the North Carolina Superintendent of Public Instruction. Today, we are highlighting important investments in North Carolina's public school facilities. Through the annual needs-based Public School Capital Fund facilities grants from state lottery funds, nearly $400 million in grants were announced recently. These grants represent the largest annual allocation of capital funding from state lottery revenues through this program. 10 districts from the mountains of Transylvania to the coast in Terrell County will receive funding to build new schools or completely renovate their schools. We're talking about 7 elementary schools, 2 high schools, and a career and technical education center that will prepare students for tomorrow's workforce. Now, this isn't just about bricks and mortar. It's about equity and opportunity. These grants target economically distressed communities. These would be communities that face the greatest challenges in generating local revenue for school construction. These grants, which will directly impact the lives of thousands of students, educators, and families across our state, ensure that North Carolina students get a safe, modern, accessible learning environment that tells them their education matters. While the facility needs across our state are much greater than the nearly $400 million being awarded through this needs-based Public School Capital Fund this year, I certainly do want to thank the North Carolina General Assembly for creating this vital program in 2017 and for its continued support. Now, this morning, a number of folks will also share, starting with Nathan Maughan, who's the Director of Office of School Facilities with the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. He'll share more about the program's history and impact. You'll also hear directly from a couple of superintendents whose districts are receiving these awards. They'll tell you what it means for their communities. These superintendents, who will also be joining us via Zoom, where Mr. Maughan will be joining here in person, are Brianna Williams, Terrell County Schools, and then Dr. Lisa Fletcher from Transylvania County Schools. And so with that, I will turn it over to Nathan Maughan. And as I do, please know that this funding is critical to sustaining and nurturing excellence in North Carolina's public schools. It's an important step forward in our journey to ensure that zip code does not determine the quality of a child's learning environment. Mr. Maughan.
Thank you, Superintendent Green. I am Nathan Mounty. I'm Director of the Office of School Facilities at DPI, and I'd like to share a little bit more about the history of this program and this year's grant recipients as well. So this year we received 92 applications from 47 counties across the state, seeking nearly $400 million in available funding for needs-based grants for school projects in those counties. These applications as a whole, all 92 of them, totaled nearly $2 billion in funding requests. With approximately 2,700 plus school campuses in the state, we know that the needs are extensive and statewide. In fact, in our 2021 statewide facility needs survey, that report summarized the reports of districts to DPI with an aggregate need representative of over $13 billion. And again, that's 5-year-old data. So we know construction costs have increased significantly since 2020. We expect to see a reflection of that in our upcoming 25-26 statewide facility survey that will be released next year. These are the counties that, as you know from the prior press release, have received grants in this cycle. I wanted to highlight a few things about the projects in these districts. Caswell's project, Caswell County Schools, will completely renovate an existing elementary school that was built in 1962. Duplin County Schools plans a complete renovation of the East Duplin High School, originally built in 1962 with additions in the 1970s. The Greene County project, a new West Greene Elementary School, will replace an existing elementary school that was built in 1965. Hertford County plans additions and renovations to Riverview Elementary, a school built in the late 1950s. McDowell County will build a new East Marion Elementary School, which will replace two existing elementary schools in that district, built in 1955 and 1975. The Richmond County grant will fund a new L.J. Bell Elementary School, replacing an existing elementary school that was built in 1952. The Rockingham County grant for a new Reedsville Elementary School will replace two existing elementary schools in that district, built in 1935 originally and 1963. Transylvania's grant is for an expansion, renovation, and consolidation of two existing high schools on the Brevard High School campus. Those schools were originally constructed in 1945 and 1959. Tyrrell County's new pre-K to 13 school with CTE Center will replace three existing schools in that district, built in 1951 and 1957. And Wilson County Schools will build a new Wilson Elementary School, replacing two existing schools in that district, and those were built in 1954 and 1963. So that really, I think, paints a picture of the level of need with existing facilities. Those buildings are way beyond their intended useful life cycle, and we're excited to be able to assist with funding that was appropriated by the General Assembly to address some of these needs statewide. These projects will transform the learning environments and positively impact the daily lives of thousands of children and families across the state. This, for the visual learners in the room, and I count myself among those folks, this is a map showing where these counties are located across this great state. So wanted to share that, and also a little bit about the history of these awards. The needs-based grant program was developed and passed into law in 2017. And so the first award cycle was the 2017-18 grant program. And the rules and parameters around this program were very different when it was initially conceived. And so in that first year, there were $30 million available from lottery revenue appropriations. And we received 24 applications. And as you can see, the first 4 years of this program were funded at increasing levels of revenue availability, but the number of applicants averaged about 18 and a half per year, largely due to the nature of eligible projects that could be funded with this money. That all changed in 21-22, and as you can see, the funding levels were still increasing, but the projects that could be built with these monies now came to include renovations and additions, not just brand new schools, which was originally the intent and the language that governed the program. So maximum grant sizes have increased over time from what was originally $10 million or $15 million, depending on the status of the applicant, to now $42 million for elementary school projects, $52 million maximum grants for middle school projects, and $62 million available as a maximum grant for high school projects. So in the 9 years since the program inception, the needs-based public school capital fund has awarded over $2.1 billion in grants across the state of North Carolina. And so this map is an illustration of the 58 counties who received grants within the first 8 years of the program. Just wanted to include that for reference because it has touched students and families, educators and communities all across the state. and we're excited to see it continue going forward.
Brianna, we can't hear you. Can you check your mic, please? Ms. Fletcher, can we switch over to you and we'll work with Ms. Williams?
Would you like for me to go ahead and start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I want to thank all of you for inviting me to speak today. This grant is a big deal for Transylvania County Schools, and it's a game changer for every student in our district. Just to help paint a clear picture of what it's going to do for our students, we're going to be able to build a brand new career and technical education wing that's designed from the ground up for real world learning. Right now, we're asking students to work from buildings built in 1945, 1959, and 1974 to compete in 2025, soon to be 2026. They aren't just old buildings. They're barriers to opportunity and the kind of education our students deserve. Our teachers are doing amazing work, but they're doing it in spaces that were never designed for today's technology, today's careers, or today's students. This grant will change that. It will allow us to finally tear down those barriers. That means modern labs where students can learn welding, carpentry, small engine repair, and other skilled trades using up-to-date equipment. It will mean spaces for health sciences, early childhood education, and technology, so students can practice taking vital signs, designing apps, or planning lessons for preschoolers in rooms that look and feel like those places that they will work one day. It means the power, wiring, and infrastructure will actually be able to handle all of the devices, machines, and tools our students need to use. And it's also about access and opportunity. The new spaces that are built will better support our students with special needs classrooms that will be built with the right size, layout, and features from the start. Things like wider doorways, better sensory spaces, and flexible furniture that will allow teachers to truly meet students where they are. And on top of that, we'll be able to design rooms that serve multiple purposes. A classroom that can quickly turn into a lab, a project space where students can build, design, present, and problem solve together. Learning in 2025 isn't just about sitting in rows and listening, it's about doing. And this project will give our students room to do. We will also, with this grant, renovate our art facilities, spaces that serve not just high school students, but every elementary and middle school student in our district, plus hundreds of community members who use our auditorium for recitals, conventions, and cultural events. The impact will benefit we have over 3,000 students, so every K through 12 student will be affected, especially all 8th graders that are at Brevard Middle and Rosman Middle, who will have access to the expanded ROTC program. It will include 146 exceptional children students who finally have facilities designed for their success. And this project also creates an innovative on-campus child care facility that addresses our teacher recruitment challenges while training the next generation of early childhood professionals. We are consolidating Davidson River School onto the Brevard High campus in a separate wing. These students will keep their school identity, their amazing principal and staff, but gain access to everything they've been missing. CTE programs, advanced courses, modern facilities, and comprehensive support. Our alternative school students will have much easier access to these real world courses. Instead of being on the outside looking in, they'll be able to walk into the same CTE wing, use the same labs, and earn the same credentials as anyone else, because that matters. It tells every student you belong here and your future matters to us. Davidson River will get a new home, not a new family. Their home will now have windows, allowing access to more academic offerings. That will save us at least $54,000 annually in transportation costs that we can redirect to instruction. And by demolishing the oldest wings, we will be boxing in the campus, eliminating 34 exterior doors, and creating a secure, controlled environment where our students are safe. But it also will help us connect the school to the wider world. Our goal is when our student leaves one of these classrooms, they leave with something in hand, a credential, a certification, a portfolio, or real work experience that means something to a local employer or a college. We want our graduates to be able to step onto a job site in a health clinic, a childcare center, a shop, or tech lab and feel, hey, I know how to do this. I've seen this before. I'm ready. The project will strengthen our partnerships with local businesses and our community college, and it will give us the kind of space where we can host joint programs, bring in employers to talk with students, and expand internships and apprenticeships. It truly becomes a bridge between high school and what comes next. But we need to acknowledge that it's not going to happen in a vacuum. But because that the state chose to invest in rural communities, our county commissioners were willing to step up alongside our school board and stand behind this work. It happens because our teachers and staff continue to believe in our students, even when buildings and budgets are tight. And it happens because our community continues to show up, ask good questions, and support our public schools. In the months ahead, you're going to hear a lot about our planning, our drawings, our traffic flow, and timelines. We'll have to talk about things like, where are those temporary classrooms going to go? How will students get to lunch? And how will we keep everyone safe during construction? None of that's glamorous, but it's all important because we expect to break ground in 12 to 18 months. But I do ask that you hold on to the why. Why is Transylvania County doing this? We're doing it so a student who loves working with their hands can learn a trade in a space that looks like a real shop, not a converted classroom. We're doing this so a student who dreams of nursing or physical therapy can practice in a space that looks like a real clinic. We're doing it so a student at our alternative school can walk into a high quality lab and know they've not been left behind. We're doing this so every student in Transylvania County, no matter their path, has a fair shot at a strong future. I'm deeply grateful on behalf of Transylvania County to our board, our commissioners, our staff, and to DPI and the legislature and this community for trusting us with the opportunity. It represents our chance to move from making do to designing a future with purpose for our students. We aim to use this grant wisely, keep our students at the center of every decision, and build spaces that match the excellence we expect from them and from ourselves. So together with this funding, our motto is, we are building a stronger tomorrow today. Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Fletcher was a hard act to follow, and I share so many of her sentiments. We are so excited about having this opportunity in Terrell County. Terrell County is one of the smallest, it's the smallest school district, public school district in North Carolina. We only have 436 students age 3 to age 19 in pre-K through grades 13. It's very important for us that we receive this grant. As mentioned earlier, our buildings range anywhere from 74 years old to 102 years old. And our county commissioners and Board of Education has always been in a triage mode for fixing these buildings with limited funds and resources. So Christmas has come early in Terrell County, and we are extremely excited, from the superintendent's office to the board, to our community members, to our students. county commissioners, and all of our stakeholders. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for us. 4 of the pillars, pillar 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, epitomize what this grant means to us to be able to ensure a healthy, safe, secure learning environment for all of our students, to optimize operational excellence, to lead transformative change, and to celebrate excellence and fully invest in public education. And for our students in the zip code 27925, we are not going to allow our circumstances to define what our opportunities present. This is going to be a state-of-the-art facility for students in early childhood development through grade 13. We partner with Beaufort County Community College to offer associates in arts and associates in science degrees, as well as workforce development and CTE pathways. So our students are going to leave us with a strong foundation, having this opportunity with a new school. We are actually going to keep the gymnasium and the new CTE building that was built on our campus. And then we're going to build on our existing campus, grades pre-K through 13. So as a newly appointed superintendent, I'm excited to lead this transformative change. It is going to impact every student in Terrell County. Our elementary feeds our middle school, which feeds our high school. We only have 3 schools, so this is going to consolidate us all onto one campus with one central entry point, which will make our campus much safer and secure, and also give our students the opportunity to see the outside world right in Terrell County. So we are excited. We are thankful for this opportunity and to be able to partner with architects and our contractors and build a design that's going to be in the best interest of all of our stakeholders. Thank you.
So that was the sound. Thank you. So that was a tremendous opportunity to hear from 2 of the 10 districts that have received funding this year, along with getting additional information from the Department of Public Instruction related to this nearly $400 million in awards for public school facilities. We could have brought the other 8, I'm sure, and they would have shared very similar stories about the impacts that these new facilities or new construction projects will make for their students, the faculty, and staff at their schools, and the broader communities as well. With that, we'll open it up for any questions that you may have. Yes, sir.
Can you explain the selection process that identified these 10 districts for the Polytechnic?
Absolutely. And so with this question, and we may go back and forth, and for this question, I'm actually going to turn to Director Nathan Maughan to go through the criteria that's set out by statute that we followed. So with that, Nathan.
Thank you for the question. And the question, I believe, was, do we speak to the criteria that we're using in selecting the grant recipients? And those criteria are found wholly in the statute that governs the program, which is Article 38B of the general statutes. There are 7 priorities expressed there, listed as evaluation criteria, if you will, and we use those independently of each other. We look at each of those metrics for every applicant in each grant cycle.
And so just, and I don't know if it would be helpful, Nathan, to just go through them, just so folks will know, so you get a sense of then why these particular awards were made. So if you don't mind just going through the 7.
Yeah, so again, these are perhaps paraphrased here, but from statute, the county's economic development tier designation as defined by NC Department of Commerce, the county's ability to generate new tax revenue locally, that county's debt to tax revenue ratio, current debt load to current tax revenue on an annual basis, whether the project addresses critical deficiencies in the district, whether projects with new construction or complete renovation of existing facilities receive priority compared to those projects that are building system components only or partial renovations, whether the project consolidates multiple aging facilities, and the phrasing in the statute is consolidates 2 or more existing schools, words to that effect. That is a priority. Then the seventh one is whether the county had received a grant in the previous 3 years from this program.
Thank you. And then just one more question for the superintendent as well. Are you aware if any of these projects have been longer term priorities in their respective districts? Have any of these been years long or decades long ask in these districts? Any longer term kind of?
So Nathan, who's been here much longer than I have, might be able to speak to that, but I do have a sense that because of the substantial needs across our state, you heard Mr. Maughan talk about $13 billion in needs from the last time we did the statewide survey. There are lots of needs that have existed for a long period of time, but maybe he can speak to more specifically a few of these.
Yeah. It depends. Some applicants had included projects similar to these or very close to these in their survey responses 5 years ago. Others had not, but that's just down to the nature of facility capital planning at the county level. That varies, priorities change, population characteristics shift in 5 year, we do that survey once every 5 years. So during those intervening periods, it's very common to see those priorities shift.
Very good. Other questions of me or any of our other participants?
If you're on the stream, you can raise your hand to ask a question or put it in the chat and we'll be happy to read it for you.
So it's my understanding that we have about 24 folks who have joined us virtually. So we want to give them just a moment to see if there are any questions that are coming from folks virtually before we wrap up this press conference. So not seeing any questions coming in from anyone virtually. And so with that, again, just want to express gratitude to the North Carolina General Assembly for continuing this program that has allowed for this year about $400 million in awards to 10 districts across 10 counties, to include districts across the state of North Carolina, to do really important public school facilities work that will be transformative for those students, their educators, the families, and the broader communities as well. With that, thank you and have a blessed rest of the day.